Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for joining us. See, okay, some announcements. It's not quite definite yet, but I plan to go to Korea end of March, beginning of April. We'll be there and we'll be returning on around mid-May to do because we have a Chanchi in San Francisco end of May. Okay, so I plan to be back here by the end of May. So I need to to schedule my return flight around mid-May because the PCR test, I still have yet to figure out how to beat the PCR test. Okay, it's no rhyme or reason at all. I don't know how to get a negative test, frankly. So far, we've been lucky. But the PCR test is a test that detects the fragments of the COVID virus. And even though you're no longer infectious, the test might come out positive for a long, long time after you are recovered. So it's really a nonsense test. And so that's why I have no choice but find out, build buffer. So so basically around beginning of April, end of March, I'll be in Korea and then return by mid-May or so. Okay, and this schedule here will be finalized within a week or two because I depended upon the activities that I can do in Korea. Hopefully we do some from Fochi, Chanchi there, maybe a week or 2 or 3, whatever. And then what else I had to do, depending on what my disciples can line up things for. But things are happening in Korea, and good things are happening. So I plan to be there in Korea. And hopefully, maybe some of you will be able to join us and do a Fochi and Chanchi. There's no substitute for that, by the way. Online is fine, but it's nothing like being there. You need the proper, not only the instructions, but you also need the protection and the support structure so that you can focus single-mindedly on your cultivation. Why do we cultivate? We cultivate because the more you improve, the more you enjoy it, the more you will like yourself. Okay? I've been practicing for almost 3 decades, Shan and Mahayana, and I may assure you, life is more wonderful. It never gets boring, to be honest with you. It gets better and better because the more you improve, the more you find, you discover things about yourself and about life that is so fascinating. Okay, if you improve, every time you improve, you're healthier. Okay, how can you tell you're healthier? Because you have more stamina You can handle stress a lot better. You are more flexible. Okay, all those physical attributes, you actually improve. Actually, physically, you are better in spite of the aging process. Yes, it takes me a little bit longer than before to recover, but actually overall, my strength has increased and my stamina has increased drastically. Okay, and so that's the basis. If you don't have your health, you don't take care of your health, you care of your physical strength, who will? Okay, you have to invest in that. And Shan will help you. It's part of the investment you're going to need to have. And furthermore, Shan develops your mind. How are you developing your mind? Your mind is developed not by cramming things into your head, because there's so much you can cram. Okay? And will you run out of space? When I was younger and I was preparing for my final exam at the last year of high school in the French system, I went to a French high school. The French system, we cram. We cram and cram and cram and cram. And there's so much you can cram. You get tired, okay? And amazingly at the time, without anyone telling me, because when I realized that I was too tired, nothing can be added to the brains. Amazingly, I started meditating by myself, okay? So these meditation skills here, you find them useful this lifetime and future lifetime as well, let me assure you, okay? So this is the Mahayana perspective. We think very, very long term. All the skills you're developing right now, this lifetime, they will be there for you in the future, in your future years, future lifetimes as well. As a matter of fact, whatever level you reach right now at this current lifetime, in the future lifetime, you get there very, very easily. This has happened to me personally, and I know it happened to a lot of my disciples as well. Even though I joined Master YongHua late, and he didn't teach me much personally, whereas he guided his disciples a lot more. He only taught me about 5 times total over the last 30 years. Even though I had no direct instructions from him, but I was able to figure things out myself. Okay, without much help from him. Actually, where I got today, I figured it out myself, my path, not his methods at all. Okay, yeah, and that's what's very interesting about it is that I realized personally, and as well as I said, by observing my disciples, many of my disciples who got there, okay, either on their own or with my help, okay, it is, some of them got there very quickly because they reached those levels before. No surprise at all. So this is what's interesting about it. When you make money, folks, this lifetime, that's it. You have to spend it this lifetime. Otherwise, after you die, your husband will take it. And your children will waste it. Okay? But the skill set, the attainment you have in practicing in your spiritual practice is whatever level you get to right now, in the future, you'll be at the same level fairly easily. Okay? So when I was a novice at my late Chinese teacher's temples, even though I got no help from him in terms of guidance, how to get there, or from his disciples, okay? But circumstances put me there fairly, very easily. Now I look back and say, oh, wow, that's what happened, okay? So my point here is that the skills you're developing the knowledge you're developing will be there for your future lifetimes. You'll never lose it. It's like your Vajra seeds, if you will. When we lecture on the Avatamsaka Sutra, the sutra says you are planting these Vajra seeds by studying the Avatamsaka Sutra. Same thing here. These Chan skills you are developing are actually similarly the Vajra seeds you have in your eighth consciousness. You can use them forever. Okay? So that's what happened. So what we taught, what we're teaching you is based on personal experience, and experiences from myself personally, as well from my observations from my disciples. Okay, and so that's why I can honestly tell you that life is so much more interesting the more you improve. You will not be sorry. This is why we keep on insisting on people, when you practice Chan, improve, improve, improve. Okay? That's a mantra. You have to improve. Then you know what I'm talking about. Okay? I remember when I first wrote the Chan handbook, number 1, and I put it on Amazon. There's a Caucasian lady who immediately wrote a comment. It says, I'm not impressed with the Chan handbook because this guy is obsessed about improvement. This is about a long, long time ago, like 10 years ago, plus a year. So this is one of the first few negative comments. She says, what's this obsession about improvement? I never heard of this before. What's wrong with going to a Chan class and enjoying myself? Okay? And I never bothered answering her. If you want to improve, like everything else in life, to improve, you need to put in the hard work. You can't take improvement for granted. You have to work for it. And there's a formula for improvements that only us in Mahayana understand. Okay, I have been trained about, and in particular, us. The Weishan lineage, we have more of the examples on how our forefathers, our forebears used it. And so, for example, I've been intrigued about this process because, as you know, there's very little things that are written or explained about the Weishan lineage. And yet, I find myself keep on talking about the Weishan lineage. Okay, it's differentiated from Hinayana training, whether it's what they call it, mindfulness training, or metta contemplation, or impurity contemplations, or the non-Buddhist practices. Why is it in Mahayana we teach Chan differently? Okay, and in particular, Weishan is quite different from the other schools, like Linji, like Cao Dong, like Yunmen, and so forth. And so, and when you try to read up about the Weishan literature, Chan Weishan literature, one of the more advanced houses of Chan in China, there's very little is written about it. And the so-called experts, the so-called specialists who understand about Chan, and they speak nonsense about Weishan lineage at all, because there is book knowledge. It's not from insider information at all. Okay, and so I've been intrigued about it. So I wanted to write a book about Weishan, at least our American style Weishan. Okay, but so I'm intrigued about that, and still haven't had a chance to do it. I still need more information, especially about yangshan, the great master Yang, which is I have little information about. And I implored the Chinese students to help me out. and translate the yangshan materials into English for me. I don't care for exact translation. You'll never be able to translate it exactly. It's not your level. You're not at the level where you can do that. You can help me out tremendously by translating so that I understand the general story, the general language, because my Chinese is very limited. My Chinese is limited to either the jargon of the Chan school or the Huayuan school or such school, Buddhist schools. But I can't talk to you in Chinese. I go to a Chinese restaurant, you know what? I don't know what to order. I can't read the menus. It's so embarrassing. I go to a Chinese restaurant, I would tell my disciples, you order. And they say, what do you want? So, I don't know. I don't read Chinese. So my Chinese is so specialized with Buddhist jargons only. So it would be very tremendously helpful when you translate those materials. To translate for me just the general story, because if you, for example, what tripped me is the names of the cities. I would look at the city names and what does this mean? I mean, the characters are impossible to look up. So just help me out by giving me the general story, and don't worry about the accuracy of what the Chan masters tell each other. You will not be able to understand, I guarantee you, okay? So let me worry about that, but help me with the general stories, okay? That's all I care about. So, and since there's so many of you who are Chinese, understand Chinese, so divide up the work. I don't care about accuracy again. One person should do one group of text, and next person so forth, so that we can discuss it, okay, later. And that's what's more important, is that we learn the Chan side of the teachings, not so much about the language itself. All right. Does it make sense? Please do that, okay? Give me some materials, and don't give it to me all at once. Give me a few things here and there, okay? So that we can start discussing Yangshan's, Master Yangshan's teachings. I'm very curious about it, to tell you the truth. I'm so curious about it, okay? Because I was wondering, I don't know about you, but I wonder, if you look at the story between the relationship between Master Weishan and his pupil, his descendant, his successor, Yangshan, okay? You can't help but wonder, why would Great Master Yangshan stay under Master Weishan for 15 years plus? Why? Huh? What do you think? Anyone? Why do you think that Master Yangshan stayed under Master Weishan for so long, waited until he died before he moved on? My point is that ultimately, do you think the Master Yangshan's level is higher than Master Weishan or not? In Chan school, you can talk all you want. Bottom line is that, what is your level? Okay? That's it. You can talk all you want. You say, I'm great, I have a lot of money, I have a lot of temples, I have a lot of disciples. To us, Chan purists, what is your level? That's all. The rest doesn't matter. So, ultimately, do you think that Master Yangshan's level is higher or what? Wouldn't you like to know? You don't care. Yeah. It's too high for me, right? Yeah, girl. Yeah. Yeah? What do you think? You think it's higher, same, or lower? What do you think? You see, no one knows, right? No one dares to discuss this, right? It's like sacrilege for you. You say, I don't know, these people are so advanced, they're so way up there. But this is the 21st century. We have the right to know. Why are we doing this? What is the levels? Wouldn't you like to know? I would like to know. Anyone? You think the same level? Master Yangshan is better? Or is he lower? Huh? Little girl, what do you think? 1, 2, 3. Which one do you pick? 1? Higher? 2? Equal? 3? Lower. Okay. Say it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Huh? Take a pick. That's let her try and see how good she is. Huh? Her instincts. Okay. 1 is that side. 1 is that. 1 is 1, 2, 3. Put her back and see which way she goes. Oh, wrong way, girl. No, that's wrong way, wrong direction. Can you see from the screen here? Yeah. See right here? See the baby? I asked her to go 1, 2, 3. But he's going the exact opposite direction. This girl has no instinct at all. Her instinct is so horrible. What do you think? Huh? Even though they're dead already, even though there is real no materials, why not? Because the Chinese, maybe they think it's taboo to bring up, like their disciples, their generation said, these are sacred, these are sacred, these are our forebears, and we need to show respect. For us Americans, we are curious. We want to know as much as we can, and nothing is really taboo in our culture. So to me, it's fair to ask, are they the same? Are they better? Is he better? Or is he not as good? What do you think? Let me tell you. Okay? I don't know either. But we can use deductions. Can we? Let me see if this makes sense to you. Okay. Remember the story. Master Yangshan studied under Master Weishan for a long time, and he became enlightened. And then one day, Master Weishan asked the Master Yangshan, he says, what do you think of our forebears? My forebears, my teachers, and my peers. Okay? Weishan, Master Weishan was a disciple of Bai Chang. So far, so good. Bai Chang is the founder, really the forefather of the Shan monasteries in China. So Master Weishan is very, 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 very connected. Okay, he's right at the top of the Shan school. So his teachers, Master Bai Chang, his peers is Master Huangbo. So far, so good. Okay. So Huangbo is the father of the Linji school. Weishan is the father of Weiyang school. So far, so good. That's the relationship. So Master Weishan asked Yangshan, he says, what do you think about Bai Chang and Huangbo? Think about it. Master Weishan asked his own disciples to make a comment about the disciples' forebears. Meaning that he realized that Master Yangshan is able to give him the answer. He's only verifying it. Does it make sense to you? So what did Yangshan answer? Master Weishan. Anyone remember that anecdote? You don't care, huh? You say, oh, just help me become enlightened. Why are you talking about things way beyond my reach? I need you to understand this is that you know the range where we're going here. In our school, our lineage, how far can you go? That's the first thing I ask. I go to a university, I ask, what is the highest level I can reach? Is it PhD, postdoctorate, or what? And who are my teachers? Okay, what are your standards? That's what I do. Same thing here. You don't need to, when you learn Chan, you have to see how far you can go, okay? And whether this spiritual way can bring you there or not. That's the whole point. Unlike this Caucasian lady who said, oh, why do you keep on insisting on improving? I'm perfectly happy being a sheep. I'm perfectly happy being low. I'm perfectly happy dying and dying confused. We're not like that, are we? So I'm asking you. You remember, anyone remembers what is yangshan, Master Yangshan's answer to Master Weishan? He says, what do you think of Huangbo? What do you think of Bai Chang? My teacher and my peer. What do you think of them? Meaning that he realized that Yangshan is able to recognize the level of Bai Chang and Huangbo. His predecessors, Yangshan could see it. Is that clear? So Yangshan's answer was, of course, this is only I'm interested in these things. You guys wouldn't know. Yangshan says, Bai Chang has perfected the nature, the substance. Huangbo has perfected its use. You know what it means? This is Ti, Yung. Chinese is Ti. Substance. Yung is function. So Bai Chang has perfected the substance. Huangbo, his disciples, have perfected the function of the substance. What does it mean? In the Chinese Chan, the Chinese Mahayana, you have a concept of substance versus the concept of use or functionality. Meaning what? The substance is your Buddha nature. So far, so good? You have the Buddha nature. All of us have the Buddha nature. Whether you are Chinese, you are non-Chinese, like Taiwanese. Taiwanese Chinese or not? I still get confused about these things. Okay? Whether you are from Ukraine, whether you're Russian, okay? It doesn't matter. You Korean, North Korean, or South Korean, you all have this Buddha substance. So far, so good. Okay? So your cultivation, your Chan practice will help you rediscover, reconnect with your substance. Meaning that, think of it like, your substance is like, it's like a skyscraper building with floor number, okay? So the substance you get, you have access to that floor, if you will. So far, so good. So the substance here is a penthouse. In the US, we have something called penthouse, where it's the nicest floor. Okay, the highest floor is above everyone else, and it has a view of the city, and it's very expensive. That only the ex-president, US president can afford to live there. We can't, okay? So the substance is right there, the highest level possible you can attain. So far, so good? That's your Buddha nature. There's nothing higher than that. So To perfect the substance, meaning that you have access to it, all right? And you stay there. You don't go lower anymore. You choose to stay there. So far, so good. That's Chan right there. In your Chan practice, when you improve, you go to, let's say, Samadhi level 7, okay? Samadhi level 7, meaning that you can go from 0 to 7. Is it clear? Okay? This is where improvement matters, levels matters, because when you go from 0 to 7, meaning that when you are 0, you're confused like your mother. Some mothers, most mothers, not Xiaojing's mother, okay? Okay, so why is it important? Because when you connect with people, you need to speak the same language, okay? So therefore, it's important for you to connect with people, to go down to level 0 when you're with confused people. Level 1, if you are with someone who is first dhyana. Level 2, for second dhyana and so forth. That's how you connect, okay? Is that clear? And so that's why the level is very important. The level enables you to choose. Which level are you going to be when you talk to others, you connect with others? Okay? So that's why a level enables us to choose. Level 7, level 6, 5, 4, and so forth. Because it helps us speak the same language, make the connection a lot easier. So far, so good. So that's very important. So even when you're married, your wife and husband, if the wife and husband levels are different, then the connection is not there. It's very difficult for them to connect, except at the level of the lowest level possible. Is it clear? All right. So the substance, again, is a level you can reach, okay? So Bai Chang, Great Master Bai Chang perfected it, meaning that he's at the purity, the highest purity possible, okay, at existence. And then Master Yangshan says, Huangbo, his disciple, the peers of Master Weishan, okay, it has perfected its use. Okay, this is very important concepts in Buddhism. You have a substance, okay, like gold. You have gold. That's your substance. Okay? However, gold by itself is useless. Right? Gold must be used, put to use, so that it can benefit others. So, for example, gold is gold, but because of gold's properties, it's often used in circuits. Okay? A lot of circuits you use, those chips that the computer industry relies upon, actually has a lot of gold in there. So that's a use of gold, is to conduct electricity. So far, so good. So gold can be used toward conduction, for conductivity of electrons. Okay? That's one use of gold. What's another use of gold? Around your wife's neck, those necklaces of gold, yes? Those bracelets of gold, that's another use of gold. Adornment, yes? What's another use of gold in the U.S.? Fort Knox, we use gold as a store of value. Okay? So you see, gold has a substance, it's gold, but it has different uses. Has multiple uses. So what happens is that Master Yangshan saw Master Bai Chang as the purity of the Buddha nature, but his disciple Huangbo has perfected the use of that nature, Buddha nature. So it's different. Okay? Bai Chang is purity. Huangbo is expedience, it's use, multiple use. It maximizes the use of the Buddha nature. That's Huangbo. So that's why the disciple Huangbo is the Master Linji. He uses a lot of expedience. Linji founded the Linji school, and he used to beat up on people, scream at people, abuse people. That's how he helped them become enlightened. That's characteristics of the Linji school. Okay, so that's why Linji observed his teacher Huangbo, how Huangbo taught and trained his disciples, and Linji said, okay, I like this. I like the fact he yelled at people, he abused people, he brutalized people, he locked them up. Okay? And they become enlightened. He liked it. So he specialized in doing that. Okay? So Linji stole a playbook, if you will. If you watch football in the U.S., we say, each team has its repertoire of plays they use, okay, for different occasions. Same thing. Linji copied, stole those tricks from Huangbo, because Huangbo mastered it, okay? And Linji only stole a small subset of that. And he became so famous and created the Linji school that still exists today in all over the world. So far, so good? Okay. So, based on that, Master Yangshan, who is a low level, remember, Bai Chang, up here, okay, taught Weishan, taught Huangbo, okay, same level. Huangbo taught Linji, Weishan taught Yangshan. So far, so good. So same level here. And yet, Master Yangshan can look at Huangbo and Bai Chang. So you can look at two levels up. What does it tell you? That's his teacher, Master Weishan, recognized that Yangshan could see Huangbo, could see Bai Chang. Okay? So Huangbo's level is the same, if not higher than, Yangshan is higher than Huangbo, not the same or higher than Huangbo or Bai Chang. You see that? Why are you so quiet? Am I talking to myself? Huh? No one discusses this like this before? Must be the case. Okay, so what happened is that, so clearly Master Yangshan can recognize Huangbo's level and can recognize Bai Chang's level, meaning that Master Yangshan level is very, very high. So far, so good. Okay, now, because these Chan masters, let me tell you, they don't BS. They don't say like in salespeople here in the U.S., they BS, they give you they talk a lot, they don't say anything. Master Yangshan answer is that Huangbo perfected the use, Bai Chang perfected the substance, and Master Weishan says, you are right. You can see them. Very good. Meaning your level, Master Weishan recognized, certified, Master Yangshan's level is the same or higher than Huangbo or Bai Chang. That's our lineage, by the way. That's our teachers. Okay? We're very precise. It's your level. You cannot fake your level because they recognize each other. There's no point in faking it. Either you're there or you're not there. That's it. There's no beating around the bush. He's going back to the question, original question. Okay? Is yangshan higher or lower or the same as Master Weishan? Okay. Clearly, I just gave you the answer. Yangshan, Great Master Yangshan is at least the same level as Huangbo or Baichang. So far, so good. When they at the same level, then they can recognize each other. When you're low level, you cannot recognize them. You BS. You talk. If Yangshan is lower than Huangbo or Baichang, he would say, I don't know. I cannot tell. But Yangshan, on the other hand, says, oh, Huangbo excels at use, and Baichang excels at the substance. Then Huangbo clearly recognizes both of them. So far, so good. So that's what Master Weishan certified for Yangshan. He says, yes, you're there. Okay? Your level is at least the same as Huangbo or Baichang. He certified it. Okay? Now, the question is, how is Yangshan compared to Weishan? Come on, you Chinese people should know this. I don't know this. I'm not Chinese. I'm Vietnamese. Yes, the 5 fingers.
Master, if somebody is higher than you, can a lower level person certify the higher level?
No.
Can't.
Because the Master Suyun did the certification for Master YongHua, so they just certify, but they could certify still. It's for lower person.
The two types of certifications. Master Xu, when he certified Master Shenhua, he only certified the Master Shenhua who was enlightened. He could not ascertain Master Shenhua's level when he saw him. But he could tell, even though he doesn't know Master Shenhua's exact level, he could tell the Master Shenhua was enlightened and high level. Okay? How does he know it's high level? Because he cannot see Master Shenhua. That's why he could tell right away that Master Shenhua's level is not lower than his. Remember, when you are at this level, you can see same level or lower. When you see people and you cannot recognize them at these people, at Master Xu level, he can see people. Okay? When he cannot tell who they are, he know immediately that their levels are not lower than him. He can certify that, but he doesn't have to certify the exact level unless he knows. He doesn't have to certify it. Okay? And by the way, Master Shenhua doesn't need Master Xu to certify him at all. Master Xu does it for himself. Master Shenhua doesn't need it. Master Xu did it for us. Right, girl? Huh? It's for us, not for Master Shenhua. Master Shenhua says, I'm me. It's like I have the gold already. Whether you certify me gold or not makes no difference to me. Right? It changes nothing. It doesn't need his certification, doesn't need recognition from us at all. He says, I'm me. I'm gold. Who cares what you think? Does it help? All right. So these are the insider information I'm revealing with you today. So clearly, Master Xu, at the point when he certified Master Shenhua, he says, I certify you as an expatriate. But he never said, I recognize you. I cannot recognize your level. He never said that. And they don't need to recognize the levels. Okay? Because at their level, at the Mahasara levels, they're beyond, you know, your recognition. Okay? They don't care. They really don't care at all. Huh? Hey, you look prettier today. You know that? Huh? You're prettier. Yeah. When you're born, you're very, very aggressive. All right. So, but that's a good question. There's a lot of nuances that the Chinese don't talk about. We're revealing it to you because we need to demystify this Chinese Chan that even now the Chinese are so confused about that. The Chinese teachers and the Chan teachers can get away with it because they leave the Chinese people didn't left a lot of room for misinterpretations. Okay? So now, think about Master Yangshan. Okay? So you know Yangshan is at least same level as Huangbo or Master Bai Chang. Okay? Now the question is, the original question, how is he compared to Master Weishan, his teacher? Okay? Assuming, for example, and that we don't know, this is where we need to depend on deduction, use our logic to ascertain this. Okay? Okay. Number one, if Master Yangshan is better than Weishan, so far so good. If Master Yangshan is higher level than Master Weishan, would he have stuck around? Unlikely. Would Master Weishan allow him to stick around? Unlikely. Why not? Here's a problem. If the monk you stay, the temple you stay, my disciples in San Jose will pay attention to this. Okay, if you go to a temple and you practice under the system of a monk or nun there whose level is lower than you, here's what's going to happen to you. They will obstruct you from your cultivation. They will not allow you to cultivate. And that's what happened to me. Okay, I found very early on, I went to my master's temple as a novice. I realized everything they did was to obstruct my cultivation. They did all the wrong things. Expected the wrong things from me, gave me the wrong instructions, gave me the wrong explanations, gave me the wrong interpretations. Okay? So that's what happened to me. And then some of my disciples went to other temples and they came back because, okay, let her be. Okay, if she messes up, we shoot her. Okay, in the Chan school, we are ruthless. It's okay, we just hang her. Okay, yeah. All right, so that's what happens. If this is why when you are higher level than the master of the temple, you will not be able to stay there very long because that master will do things to inhibit your cultivations. Nothing you can do about it. Even though they try to help you, they are doing the wrong things. They set up the wrong system. You know, to me, for example, it's ridiculous. They have like 3 pages of rules and regulations for the Chanchi. You know that? Oh, thank you, honey. Would you like some? Drink. Your brother likes this. Your brother is crazy about this. Huh? Drink some. No? You typical girl, you don't trust anything. I drink it first. I tell you, I drink it first. So, drink. Okay, so that's what happened. That's why you go to a low level temple, you will not be able to cultivate. They will do things obstruct you. Okay, so that's why. Oh, look at that! Oh, baby's leaving us. Oh. So that's why Master Bodhidharma, when he went to that Shaolin temple, what did he do? He segregated from them. He had nothing to do with them. Master Shenhua, he went to the temples in Hong Kong, the other temples. He's different from them as well. He could not stick around. What did he do when he went to his master's temples? He walked around. He never hang around the temples at all. He walked around. He kept on traveling and helping people, building his blessings, staying at the master's temple, Master Changren, Chu, whatever, whoever. You understand? Look at the story. They will not be able to cultivate, period. Okay? So that tells you that Master Yangshan, thank you, honey. Thank you. Master Yangshan, okay, was not higher than Master Weishan. Okay? Furthermore, at these people's level, we're talking about enlightened people's level and Mahasattva level. They would never waste your time. Meaning that they would never allow you to hang around and waste your time at all. If they know you're better than they are. You suspect that you're better than they are and say, you leave because I will only hinder your progress. I have my obstructions, my limitations. Therefore, I will do certain things that will impede your cultivation. You should get out of here. You should not be around at all. Go. Okay? So that's why I believe the Master Yangshan is not higher than Master Weishan. Otherwise, Master Weishan would have told him to leave. So far, so good? Okay. So most likely, Master Weishan is lower or the same level. Okay? It's okay. Let her be. Okay? Are you okay? Are you curious? You're not afraid of me? Oh, wow. Even kids are not afraid of me. Only adults are afraid of me. Yeah. See, can you stop her? You can't stop her. You see that? That means that you're not higher than her. That's a fact. Huh? You want it? Okay. Okay. It's okay. She's comfortable. She's not afraid of me, meaning she's probably the same level as I am. Yeah, she says, what are you doing, man? I mean, huh? Yeah. He says, hey, what are you doing? You're not even afraid, huh? Aren't you afraid? See? Yeah. All right. Okay. So we know. I believe that Master Yangshan is same level as or lower level, which leaves only two choices. So is he the same level? I don't think so. Okay. Is he as good as Master Weishan? I don't think so. Okay. So why is it called Weiyang? Because Master Weishan provided all these big things, this whole school. Okay? It's so big that his disciples didn't understand, have no grasp of it. So Master Yangshan, I believe, is the one that filled in the things that his disciples, Master Weishan disciples, didn't understand, didn't grasp. Okay? And added things, but I don't think Master Yangshan is higher level than Master Weishan at all. Okay? So the contribution is different. Contribution is in adding, if you will, the Master Weishan has all this whole universe of the Weiyang school. Master Yangshan simply elaborated within that realm. Okay? Things that Master Weishan did not have time, or did not find that his disciples were able to understand it. That's why Master Weishan explained so much, but could not elaborate anymore to his disciples. Master Yangshan detached from it, found better level disciples to help them understand deeper of the Master Weishan's teachings, because Master Weishan disciples were not that good. That's what happened, in my opinion. Okay? And that's why that lineage there. Thank you very much. She knows all the tricks. When you see a monk, you're supposed to make offerings. What's better, what's more useful in the COVID-19 era than tissues? Okay? When you make offerings, offer things that are needed, not the things that you need. You offer the things that the monks and nuns need. Okay? Very good. Okay, give some to mommy and daddy. She gets it. Mommy and daddy. Look at her. Does it help? Okay. That's why I feel that's a relationship in the Weiyang school. Master Weishan has all this vast knowledge, okay, the foundation. Master Weishan elaborate on the foundations for the future generations. Doesn't mean he's better at all. He just elaborate on the third generation of disciples who are clearly better than Master Weishan's disciples. Okay? All right. Today I ended up talking myself the whole time. Okay, thank you all. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, that's it, girl. Okay, we go eat. Okay, dinner. Ciao.